You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Fashion Star After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Fashion Star After Show.
Oh, God, what a show we have for the viewers tonight.
They don't even know.
They don't know what's coming at them. We've got some surprises here. Before we get into it, I am Christopher Jozeph. Welcome to the AfterBuzz Studios here in sunny California. As I mentioned, we got a great show. But before we get into it, a couple shout-outs to our media partners, Bing.com and Akamai Technologies. Thank you so much.
Bing, bing, bing.
And for all you viewers that can't get enough of AfterBuzz TV and your favorite TV shows, always feel free to log on to AfterBuzzTV.com. You can follow us on Twitter at
AfterBuzz TV.
There you go. And like us on iTunes. Find us on iTunes. Like us. We value your support. Comment. Your views mean a lot to us. We couldn't do this
But your
without
comments
you.
mean more. We need to know
There you
why
go.
you love us so much.
What the pretty blonde here says.
Tweet
I'm feeling
us
pretty
too.
good. Tweet us. As mentioned, I'm Christopher Jozeph and men's fashion wear designer. You can contact me via Twitter at Vocari Fashion.
And women's.
And oh yes, don't forget the women's. Got a little shout out to the women's side. You know, I do it like that. I got out of my comfort zone.
There you go. You went out of the box.
You would have won the competition tonight.
I just
maybe.
might have.
Right.
That being said, let's introduce ourselves around the table.
All right.
The lovely Diona.
I am Diona Vaughan, and for all of you that don't know, I used to work in fashion. I was a buyer for Bloomingdale's and worked for Juicy Couture and all kinds of fun stuff. And now I'm a host, and I'm able to sit here and commentate about Fashion Star just for you. Cool.
Nice.
And a shout out.
Reppin' Vocari.
Look at
Reppin'
that. A
Vocari
little bit
with
of
Chris's
Vocari.
Gorgeous scarf, because this is hot as ever in here, but I'm still wearing this
Well, you're making it
beautiful
even
scarf.
hotter.
If we start glistening now, y'all don't judge.
We get sexier as we sweat in here.
Yes, we do.
So I'm Stephanie Wenger. You can find me at Stephanie Wenger, keeping it simple for you. It's pretty awesome. And as I mentioned last week, just love to shop. So excited to be here and learn more about
Definitely in
fashion
the
from
right
all of
space.
these guys. Yeah.
And, across
And
to my
also
left.
keeping it simple, I'm Canden Bliss, and you can find me at Canden Bliss.
And on to the couch.
Hey,
we got a
guys.
lovely pop of color here.
Yeah.
Virginia.
Hey guys, I'm Virginia Reyna. I went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in downtown Los Angeles, and I specialized in fashion PR. So I have just been tweeting away all night, and we have a very exciting show for everybody.
You've been a bit of a little rock star tonight. Definitely keeping up with that fashion PR.
Yeah.
As mentioned, we have an amazing show, and we just might have a couple surprises.
Calling
You guys
in.
know what I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this was interesting. We left off last week. This is episode 6.
Right.
We're into the nitty gritty.
It's
halfway through.
We're halfway through.
9 designers.
9 designers left, and we were left with a bit of a cliffhanger.
Mr. Christopher,
Yes.
real quick, just before you guys get into the meat and the potatoes of the surprises in the show, we wanted to definitely encourage all of our iTunes people to continue to comment and rate our show. I tell you, honest to God, this is about to be a really good AfterBuzz show for Fashion Star. This group that we have in here and the special guests. So we want you to comment on our YouTube, iTunes.
Comment.
Yes.
Good
Like
show.
We want to hear your
They
thoughts.
really
Who do you like
us.
best?
Who do you love? Tell us.
Tough questions. Well, as mentioned, we were left with a bit of a cliffhanger, thinking that this week was going to be not about what we saw, which was
Exactly.
out of
Out
your
of the
comfort
box.
zone, thinking out of the box. We were left to believe that it was going to be about swimsuits.
Right. And only part of the designers showed us swimwear tonight, so that kind of left us a little confused, right?
Well, somebody did do lingerie.
Yes. That's
Coming out with another accent
Swimwear
tonight,
for the
guys.
bedroom.
Yes.
But yeah, we were a little surprised. We
Swimming
did
in
have
the
a cliffhanger.
sheets.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Bro.
Well, good segue into the first group. Here we
Yeah,
have
here we
Ross and Luciana.
Ross and Luciana. Well, what do we
It
think?
actually started off great.
Great.
We haven't been
Wonderful.
on the Ross train. I think we can
I
all
have-
agree.
no.
I have not been riding that Ross train, but today I was surprised.
Difference of opinion today.
Yeah.
He brought the lingerie aspect. He definitely was outside of his box. As a guy looking at the
Yes,
lingerie,
we'd love to
walking
hear your
down the
feedback.
runway,
Uh-huh.
I liked it. No knocking against what's already out there. You know, you
Yeah.
have some of the more skimpier and sexy lingerie. Hey, it's got a place for it.
Yeah.
I like it in
Well,
the
what
bedroom.
did you like about it, Chris?
It was vintage. I
Okay.
like the vintage aspect.
Yep.
I like that it was a little higher. It reminded me of the pinup
Yep.
days.
Yeah. Definitely
so
a
it was
pinup girl.
tasteful.
You know?
Yeah.
That was immediately what I thought walking down the runway. I could just see like the little pinup ads, and it was sexy, but it was very classy, and
Yeah.
it was very womanly. It wasn't it wasn't like whorish or teeny bopperish. Like there's a lot of those things that are just really like cheesy, youthful, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
And this was very tasteful, very well done. I could see a wife, with kids, like wearing that and just feeling like $1 million
Really
bucks.
good, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of lent itself to a broader range.
Right.
Right,
And
I feel.
I definitely felt like it was going to be an H&M sell because if you ever go into H&M and you look at their lingerie, they do often do the high-waisted short or the high-waisted little booty short that they do, and it was just perfect for that market. So,
Right.
I mean, that's basically when I go there, that's what I'm looking for, and
Right.
it was just exactly
And we can all
that.
afford it because it's at H&M.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's what's trending now. Yeah.
H&M, 50K.
Yeah,
Way to go,
50K.
Ross. Would you all wear it?
I would definitely wear the pink and black. It was adorable.
We're liking it.
I
Was
think
there something
Virginia
there
and I
for-
would need a bigger cup bra because we discussed that last week.
Hey, Ross,
Not me.
are you listening,
I'm
Ross?
good. I'm good with the baby cups.
So, Ross, you need to appeal to women who've got, a little extra something on top. But I think it was nice. I do agree it was tasteful. Like I said, I haven't been riding that Ross train, but tonight I wanted to buy a ticket.
He really set the pace with that red and black number.
Well, Stephanie and I have gone over this whole booby issue, and I've admitted on quite a few shows I don't have very
Tell
large
us how you really
breasts,
feel.
so I'm fine with the little cup sizes.
See, I'm more on their
there.
end of this whole experience here.
Well,
you know what?
But
I'm
it was
gonna-
nice for me to see like those models. They didn't have big boobs. They didn't look like Victoria's Secret models, but they
Right.
looked sexy. And as somebody who doesn't have big boobs, like it's hard to feel sexy and womanly sometimes.
You know what?
Camden, you always look wonderful.
Thanks, Ronnie. I'm just saying.
No,
But
listen,
even those
listen.
big-
While we're talking about boobs, I feel like this is the perfect segue to go to our phone call. 424-256-1729. Tell us what you think about boobs, I guess. Here we go.
Are you boobylicious?
Well, I've got one more thing to say about boobs.
We got the call, though.
We
Hello?
do have,
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
Hello.
Okay, I'll say my
What's your
comment.
name and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Luciana Carabello. How are you guys?
Oh, we're great. We loved your crop jackets. They were fantastic.
That's a perfect segue. We were just about to talk about your adorable cropped jackets on tonight's show.
I love the pink one.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You were definitely our pick of the night as the
Absolutely.
star.
The winner, the
of
star,
tonight's
the
show.
fashion star tonight.
deserved.
Wow, guys, thank you so much. I really put a lot of love into the jackets. I absolutely love them, and I'm very proud of them and happy that, they're out there and they're actually sold out already. It's incredible.
That's
Congratulations.
Already?
Yeah.
What happens if I
Yeah,
wanted
already.
one? We all wanted one of those jackets. What are we going to do?
So, hey, Luciana.
I know, they go fast, and unfortunately, I can't repeat them. Unless Macy's wants to do them again, I can't do them myself.
So can you give us a little insight into like the energy behind the scenes? What's going on? What's going through your mind? What motivates you? Like, talk to us.
Well, for this challenge, it was doing something out of our box. And my line of clothing, Scarabello, is mostly cocktail dresses and things for the evening. And I've never ventured into doing a jacket, which was something that I've never done before. And I wanted to do something also a little more colorful because I always tend to fall back into the blacks and kind of the neutral colors. So I was thinking, spring, and I wanted to bring the colors and something that you can wear during the day or at night, and that it would be great for any type of woman. It could be, a 20-year-old girl can wear it, or somebody older, somebody that's professional, somebody that's a stay-at-home mom. It just fits pretty much everybody.
It was very versatile.
Yeah.
It was. Now, besides the fact that they were just amazing pieces, well done. I love the pop of pink that you had within the cuff of the silver jacket. The one thing that we don't get to see as viewers is an insight into the type of fabric you're using. What kind of fabric did you use with these jackets?
Yeah, good question.
Actually, when we went to the fabric store, I fell in love with this different type of brocades. And I think the fabrics that I chose were mostly for home decor, actually. But I really loved them because they had these brilliant colors and they had this really nice structure to them. So that's why I went with them. But yeah, I think they were more like home decor type of fabrics.
Okay.
So like almost like upholstery type fabric or like
tapestry.
Yeah, like what am I trying to say?
She said it was a brocade.
A brocade, yeah.
Yeah.
So like a thicker fabric.
Right.
Because that looks just like a great date night jacket.
How does that translate into like spring? I mean, is it kind of light and like kind of airy in a way?
Yes, it is. It's not heavy at all. It's not winter at all. It's a brocade, and but it's not heavy. You know, it's something that I definitely kept in mind that the challenge was to do something for spring, summer as well, since, you know, it was about this season. So I definitely didn't want to do something that was too wintry. So it's not. It's perfectly for spring, summer.
Can I ask you a quick question? Another question that as viewers we just don't know. Do you guys have a budget when you're going and shopping for, you know, your fabrics and materials and trim? Or is it just like carte blanche, you can get whatever you want? How does that work?
Oh, I wish we could get whatever we wanted. No, actually, we do have a budget.
Okay.
If we could get whatever we wanted, I would get so many backup fabrics just in case something doesn't work. But because we have a budget, we do need to be very smart about the fabrics we're using and we're picking. If we pick something that is wrong, then we have nothing to fall back on. So, it's, you know, the time you're in the store, you really need to kind of put your thinking cap on and choose wisely what you're going to where we're going to use.
And how much time do you actually have to decide, like from when you find out for the next challenge? So what you have to create, and then you decide, I'm going to do this. How much time do you have to actually plan everything?
It's about a week, isn't it?
Not a lot. Actually, they would take us to the fabric store early in the morning. They would tell us what our challenge was. They're like, okay, think for 10, 15 minutes, and then you have an hour to purchase your fabric.
Wow.
I was looking to the fabrics. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was just thinking about my design as I kind of picked the fabric. And it was pretty hard because we couldn't think it out so well.
Well, once you pick out your fabric, I mean, how long is the design time? How long do you have to actually construct the style?
Right, and my question was not only that, but do you actually sketch it out, make the patterns, cut all the patterns, and then do it to the same 3 fabrics, or are there other people helping you actually, with the pattern making?
Well, we've seen a few pattern makers, but we don't really know how much influence they have. I know we saw. It might have been you actually have a little scuffle with your pattern maker. What was that about?
It was me last week.
I know.
We all get each designer is assigned a pattern maker.
Okay.
We have flowing cutters, and then each one is assigned also a seamstress as well. Okay. And I mean, we have to tell the pattern maker what we want, and we can help doing the pattern or not, and we can help in any area that we want. We can sew things ourselves if we feel like it, but if not, we can give it to them. And it's very important to work as a team because we're making also 3 garments in 2 days, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
So it's creating the idea from scratch and then sewing the whole thing and presenting it after 2 days. And yeah, with my pattern maker, I mean, he's brilliant and he was just phenomenal as a pattern maker. The problem was that he was just too opinionated. And whenever I would tell him, oh, I don't like this, let's change it, he's like, no, I don't like it. Like,
and you're like, it's not up to you.
It's not fitting right. We should change it. I'm like, I'm going to be standing in that stage, and they're going to be criticizing me. So please just collaborate.
Yeah.
And
welcome to fashion.
He was really, really great at what he did. It's just that he was really hard-headed. Like, if I told him I wanted to do something, he's like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, I don't like that. No,
are you still working with the same pattern maker throughout the competition, or do you change it up every show?
No, we worked with the same team every week. Yeah, so we didn't get to switch or anything.
Maintain a certain level of consistency.
You had to mend that bridge.
Exactly. So what about working with the mentors? How was that? Did you like working with Jessica and John and all of those guys, Nicole?
It was really great working with them. You know, they would come in after they gave us the challenge. We would show them the fabric, our idea, and then they would come back again when the garment was almost finished. The problem sometimes that I found was that all three of them have very different aesthetics.
Yep.
Yeah, we see that too.
Yep.
So it's very hard because you do want to listen to them and you want their help, and also because you know that they can save you in case you don't get bought. So you kind of, you know, you want to play nice to them. But, you know, Jessica would come and say, I like pink, and then John would do neutrals, and then, you know, Nicole Richie would say, no, make it into a vest. So everybody had a different point of view. So it was very hard to listen to all three of them and kind of please them all at the same time, I guess.
Well, I guess at that point, you more or less, you absorb as much as you can from the mentors, but at the end of the day, you kind of go with your gut instinct, right?
Right. You have to stick to your
Yes,
vision.
absolutely. You do have to do that, and you have to be true to yourself as a designer. And
Exactly.
the show is about showing who you are also and what your brand is about. So definitely you need to keep that in mind at all times.
Now, Luciana, as you're watching the show, you know, we've noticed that they haven't really featured you very much, like the behind-the-scenes part of it.
Until this week.
Until this week. And we had a little bit of a highlight last week, but the way that they're editing it, they have different, like, you know, we've really gotten to know Cara on a different level. We really haven't gotten to know you. Now, do you know why they're doing it this way, or how come sometimes they will just cut off a scene and just show us the runway part of it? Because I know they've done that to, you know, a few times on the show now, and we're just wanting to know more about you.
Boo.
Yeah, you and Ronnie. What is your take on all that?
I know, I totally get what you're saying, and it's true.
Before
Like
Luciana
at the beginning
jumps
of the
in,
show, it felt like I
Luciana.
wasn't even in it. And I was telling people, but I'm in the show, I really am in the show. And people were like, but we didn't see you. Did you get eliminated? I'm like, no, I'm still there. Just watch me next week. I'm like, I'm there. And I really don't know why they do that. I think maybe they don't have enough time to fit all the designers and everything that we did.
We gotta say,
so they kind
Luciana,
of pick the stories each week.
we are so happy that you were featured. You deserve it. Congratulations on the win today.
Yeah. All of us ladies here want a jacket.
We love it. We love it.
I can't
Thank you
believe they're
so
sold out.
much for calling in and the fact that you watch. And believe it or not, I believe we have another Fashion
Call us
Star
next
contestant.
week, Luciana. We'd
On
love to
the
hear
line.
from you every
Thank you
week.
guys so much.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Big season. Thank you for everything.
Of
Good
course.
luck.
Cheers, sweetie.
Thank. Good luck.
Bye.
She
Bye-bye.
is adorable.
Adorable.
So glad.
Yay,
So I
Luciana.
believe we have.
Let's check with the phone lines again. We did have our other call. AfterBuzz, hello.
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 If not, I'll ring you guys in when we get our call
Okay.
back on the line.
All right.
Well, we had another caller on the line. We're hoping that it's another
Well, that was
someone special. But
amazing.
that's great. I mean,
Yeah,
that
we
and a
got
perfect segue. I mean, here we are talking about Ross and Luciana. We're talking.
Right.
I mean, no, she comes in with a
Ronnie.
big win.
Right.
$100,000
from Macy's.
100,000.
And already sold out.
Yeah, that's
Sold
amazing.
out
Cannot
already.
believe
So
that.
How does that even happen? Like the show.
The show just aired like an hour ago.
I will
for
tell
the
you-
East Coast Central Time, because I was getting the tweets ahead of time.
Ahead of time,
and
we're
I
actually
was,
exactly.
Well, we'll have to check out our.
So
local
everybody
Macy's
on the
tomorrow
East
and
Coast
see.
is going to get the jacket, and everybody
Yeah.
out here on the West Coast is going to be jacketless.
Yeah.
LA is
It's
getting the
online.
shaft.
It's online sales, I would imagine, because the stores aren't open.
Well,
so we'll
you know
have
what?
To,
Here's the thing. This shows you from a marketing perspective
Right.
what televised exposure will do, and then online. You combine the two. That's powerful pedigree for people sitting at home, because
Absolutely.
everybody knows e-commerce has become such
Huge.
a hot thing these days.
Yeah.
People just, it's comfortable. You sit at home. There's that catch-22 where I know you're not able to feel the fabric.
Touch
You're not
it,
able
yeah.
to try it on.
But they have like the magnifying glass where you can like
Can
look
they?
at the fabric.
You know what? I think we're gonna go to possibly somebody named Ronnie, which is a great name.
Yeah.
Let's
Two
see-
Ronnies in the house.
Let's see what's happening. AfterBuzz, hello, Fashion Star.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Ronnie.
Hi, I love the show, by the way. I watched
Oh, we love
You're
you.
so wonderful.
We got to tell you, Ronnie,
thank you.
we really like
know,
you.
You guys are amazing. I watch you guys all the time. I swear to God.
Thank you. Well, we just had Luciana on the phone. We were saying
I know
how great it was for her. You're another fashion star coming in with a big win tonight. Unbelievable. That scuba style swimsuit was
fantastic.
Brilliant.
So crazy.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
It had that kind
amazing.
of James Bond-esque, and I know all the ladies here. Well,
yeah.
I'll let the
Charlie's
ladies weigh
Angels.
in.
Ronnie, we absolutely
Well,
loved it.
I was so worried about this swimsuit actually, because when I was putting on the dress form, I was like, oh my God, I think her crotch was too wide. And I was like, what is it going to happen? And when I put it on the models, I was like, oh my God, I think we're in a borderline too sexy.
Yeah, I can
So
see what
I
you're
was
saying.
like, oh my God, let's see what's going to happen.
Can I ask you something? As a man designing swimwear for a woman, like, where is your balance? Because I could see on the one hand, you want to make sure you're designing for a woman and her body and something's going to make her feel comfortable and sexy. But on the other hand, you kind of want to design for what a man likes to see, a woman in. So how do you balance that? Or how did you balance that for this challenge?
Well, I think sometimes it's so funny. Like I always tell my friends, men has a different kind of visual. I mean, we have a different vision for women. A lot of women, I would say, they always try to cover up things that they don't want to show or something like that. But I kind of want to think about, like, every woman could wear this. A lot of women don't want to show their stomach, and I want to add a little fantasy to it. So, and at some point, you didn't get a chance to, when Nicole Richie, I designed three swimsuits. I gave her all the options, and she told me, why don't you do all these three designs? Because on the original concept of my swimsuits, I have three different backs. One was open back. It was all mesh. But I'm not sure if you get a chance to see in the show, but on the Macy's website, I think they just picked one design and did just with the other two options. I love those bathing suits. I was really excited, but it's always scary, once you're up on the runway.
Well, I have to say, I thought it was kind of a cool risk that you took with the really high-waisted cut of the swimsuit. I mean,
Showing off that leg.
Well, I've been in the pageant circuit, okay, and those are the kind of swimsuits, like back in the day when my mom was in beauty pageants. It was like those really high, one-piece swimsuits that were really sexy, but like classy at the same time. And I loved that you reinvented that in a modern way and had fun colors and the zipper thing. I mean, it was just like the perfect combination of like vintage and modern come to life. I mean, I love it. I would so wear it, and I want one.
I'm a big fan.
Thank you very much. I mean, the zipper. I know Jessica mentioned something about that. She was like, it was a little tricky. I mean, we talked about. I'm not sure if it was shown when she was like, be careful with the zipper that you use, because if it's metal and the sun hits it, it could get really too hot. So I did put even like a fly behind the zipper, so when the sun hits it, I mean, you're protected. But it was Ashley, my model, who was wearing the pink one, and the black tonal. We were a bit worried that it was gonna just open up because she had a little bit of a chest too. So, but I love those. I love those swimsuits. I wish everybody could just get all colors.
Now, was this your first time dipping into the swimwear pool, so to say? No pun intended.
It was pretty much my first time. I wanted to design swimwear before, and I tried to make one bathing suit, but I was like, I don't think I was even successful doing it. So I think I was so inspired, like, just to do it, And everybody would have said, like, oh, you should have done menswear or something different. But you know what? I didn't want to take that much of a risk, especially it's pretty tough. It's getting tough each week, I just wish everybody could see what was going on in the studio more. How everybody
we do too. We want so badly. I mean, I don't want to compare too much to like other fashion shows, but on some of the other ones, you really get to see see the contestants, and as viewers, you get to know them. You're rooting for them because not only because you love their designs, but because you love who they are.
Right.
And I think we're still kind of missing that aspect of Fashion Star. Is we love some of the designs, but we want to know more about you, and we want to know who you are as designers. Like Nicole was saying, this white T-shirt represents something. You know, she was talking to Cara. You know, I want to see that from everyone. I want to see what their stuff represents. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, Ronnie,
Yeah.
put you on the spot.
Oh, yeah, for
What
sure.
do you represent?
I just really wish. I mean, we thought about it before when we saw the first episode. It was like, oh my God. I mean, you don't see everybody's process, you know, the drama that went behind because of the stage production.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was the first episode, the first season. So I think everybody's learning, you know, how to improve it maybe for the next season. You know, people wanted to see it. There were people asking me on the street sometimes like, what happened? I'm like, I wish I could tell you. I'm not the editor of the show. I was the producer because, like, we didn't see much, you know, like even last week.
Well,
what if it was like a 2-hour show? Would that help?
Probably.
Well, in the beginning,
I mean,
there were
I think
14
it could have
contestants.
worked. I think people would have. I mean, if people could see, I think the process and everything, I think people would actually pay attention and watch the show.
Yeah.
Because you know, if people can watch Snooki do crazy things on TV,
Exactly.
I mean,
It's definitely been a constant construct a bit of criticism from this panel is that, unfortunately, you were one of the contestants along with Luciana that were kind of being glossed over for the first half of the episodes. You know, we're on episode 6, and finally you get your glory moment, and it was so great to see. It's kind of like you're that hidden, that diamond in the rough, and it was just really great to see you break out, go beyond what you thought was your limit, and really do something great.
Oh, thank you very much. I think, I mean, all of us have no idea what the show is all about. I mean, we got a little bit of a briefing. I mean, it's a brand new show, you know. I think I kind of treated it, unfortunately, me saying this was like, I was trying to show too much. Jessica Simpson gave me an advice, I believe, on the fourth episode, which nobody saw it, when she said, try not to be a showman. You know, you're trying to do too much. You did this corsets in episode 3. I mean, I didn't know I had like maybe a 2-yard limit for fabric usage. They told me I used too much fabric. I mean, if somebody told me I can only use 2 yards of fabric, I would have made that dress in just 2 yards. But it was a 4 yards of continuous fabric. There's no seam in there. It was just basically draped around the corset. I love those dresses. I get tweets on them all the time. But you know, it was, you know, I had to tone it down. I had to look back. I think the expectations from me were so high coming into the show because of, they tell me I interned at Zach Posen, Chadra Fucci, and I worked at Abercrombie & Fitch to learn the business side of everything. I think at one point.
I used to.
So, do you think, Ronnie, you could tell us a little bit about the buyers side of it? Because, you know, we see a little bit of the mentors, but we have no idea what's going on with those buyers. Do you all have any sort of relationship with them other than when you're on the stage?
Well, that's pretty much our relationship with the buyers.
Okay.
You know,
so that's all
we get their feedback, and we get the mentors' feedback. We see the mentors, all of them one by one. They come to our workroom or our desk, and they give us feedbacks. But sometimes it's one of those things, like, you have to find that balance, you know. Listen to the buyers, what they said from the previous episode, and listen to the mentors, and take it all in and find that balance. But you have to stay true to who you are as a designer, you know.
Clear
At the end of the day, I always say you have to be happy with what you sent on the runway. And I've said it before, you know, if they're going to send me home, at least I'm happy with what I sent on the runway.
I can sympathize with you, Ronnie. I mean, as a new menswear designer myself, I'm just breaking my line into the market, and you got to be open to the feedback, take it all in, but go with your gut. As you mentioned, stay true to yourself and have clear intention on the market that you're designing for. But ultimately, and again, you could probably talk to this, sometimes where you may see your designs ending up, you know, in the Saks or a Macy's or an H&M, really the market in the end dictates where you belong. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's always good to hear people's feedback, because I'm not gonna say I'm the most amazing, smartest, and developed designer. I mean, I'm learning every day, and everybody's feedback counts. But you always have to listen, and you have to make sure that But this is who you are. This is who, as a true designer, as long as you're happy and you stay true to yourself, but you always should be open to feedback. And somebody told me before, it's not art if it doesn't sell, because they looked at me before as I do couture stuff, and through the show I learned a lot of stuff, just to be a better designer, to think about my customer all the time. Can people wear this? Looking back, I look at the second episode when I did those blouses, I'm like, okay, not everybody could really wear this piece,
Well, we're definitely learning a lot too watching the show.
Absolutely.
And going from the first episode to now, we're growing just as much, I feel like, as you guys are growing along with the show and your experiences. So
we're learning a lot about the market and how this all works. We've never had this buyer's aspect of fashion shows on television. So we're actually seeing what goes into really, like, not just designing a fabulous work of art, but into really the business behind it. And that's something, as consumers, it's neat to know, you know? So I'm excited that this show exists, and I'm glad that we're learning more about it as you are, and we want to see more of this process that goes into your creativity and who you are. So,
and me, and like having, I used to work for Macy's and Blue Maze and Express, so having actually done that, they are giving you a very true aspect of what that's like, because just like to your point, it is, you really have to think about the consumer. And I think for a designer, sometimes designers, you're very creative, you get in your heads and you don't always think about the garment that you're designing and who's going to buy it and who's the customer and how much money does she have, and at the end of the day, it's a broad customer base. So
and I think that's why tonight's design was such a big win, because so many people could wear it, and especially the way that it was so high up on the leg. I mean, that can make any woman's leg look 5 inches longer. Fantastic, because it's so high up there.
We're, as I said before, we're so grateful that it's a once in a lifetime thing. Have these buyers and mentors in the same room and hearing all their feedbacks, their comments, and you just have to take it all in. And sometimes we do feel a little stubborn, as designers. It was kind of like, it's part of you, like, what? Sometimes you have to take a step back and just absorb everything.
Well, Ronnie,
and learn as much as you can.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie, like I said, we're so happy to see you get your time on the show. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.
And we truly appreciate the support, that you're showing us as we're showing you. This has just been
Tell the rest of the cast members to call us.
Hey, Ronnie.
Oh, I always sure. And tell Ronnie I said hi. I always.
Ronnie,
shout out to the booth.
That's a great name, Ronnie Jr.
Yeah, the guy in the booth.
Make it happen, man.
I have one more question for you that I think all of our viewers would love to know. So, what's the relationship between you and the other designers? Are you guys friendly? Are there cat fights? Do you guys get along? Like, come on, be real with us.
This is the funny part. Is like I'm really good friends with everybody. And
really?
Even with Oscar,
seem like a likable guy, Ronnie.
Even with Oscar, really?
There's got to be some fights backstage. We want to get the juice.
Oscar told me one time, it's like, you know what, Ronnie? You know what? I don't mess with you. And he was like, because you're beautiful. I'm like, oh,
just stand
my
there
God.
and look pretty, Ronnie.
That is too funny.
That's an hilarious inside scoop.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Well, again, Ronnie, thank you so much for calling in. We wish you the best of luck on this show.
Absolutely.
We can't wait to see what else you break out, and we'll be continuing to support you, my friend.
And thanks for calling in so much.
Thank you guys.
Feel free to
you
call
guys
in
are
anytime.
amazing, and I watch the show all the time.
Awesome.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
You do too. We'll
Call
talk
in
to you
next
soon.
week.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye, Ronnie.
Bye.
Wow, I mean, what a way to start off the
Man.
show.
Nice,
You know, we've been
right?
doing this for 6 episodes. We get the calls. We're finding out that they're actually watching the show. You know, this is
awesome.
great. This show
awesome.
is
Cool.
it's really starting to pick up. And we said how we've loved the concept of Fashion Star. And like I mentioned, you know, to Ronnie, I feel like we've been growing as the show grows. And it's getting to that point where you want to watch, you're getting deeper into it. It's becoming more
Because you
interesting.
recognize the people, I think. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking back now, I hope I didn't say anything mean about either one of those two in the past couple episodes. But like, I'm so excited to finally feel like I have a relationship with some of these people. And you know, you never really do. I mean, now we do, but with other shows, you just see them and you just feel this connection emotionally to their story. And we just didn't get that. And now it's like, oh, we have
There it
something to
is.
latch onto.
Your
great.
wish is my
We
command.
got a little inside information
Absolutely.
of the process and what they do and, you know, budgets and all that. So I think we're, you know, a step ahead,
Well,
you know?
talking about Ronnie, well, we may as well finish up with his group, actually.
Yeah,
Just kind of going
absolutely.
down. Nikki and Barbara. Nikki changed it up, went out of her comfort zone, went with the men's.
Menswear.
As a menswear designer, I wasn't, you know, I got to
wasn't
disagree
impressed.
with Nicole.
Yeah.
As a guy, I didn't like it.
Really?
I
Why?
just
I can't
didn't,
see a guy
I
liking
didn't
that.
think that the fit on the pants was cut appropriately. It's a bit more of a guys are starting to buy a little bit slimmer. It was a little bit more
European cut.
loose.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of it, and then the shorts from almost short shorts to just over the knee.
too long.
I just wasn't a fan of it. Now she's been doing great. Just wasn't a fan this week.
I mean, she was saved, so I mean,
Yeah.
obviously
deserved to
she
be
has
saved.
some talent.
I was actually really surprised that she saved her. It made sense when they said, okay, she's had a buy from everybody, but I was shocked that they didn't save Sarah after
Yeah.
her consistent.
I know
her
that's
consistency.
who
But
I thought
Sarah
was for
hasn't had a
sure gonna be
buy.
saved.
Sarah's had a buy every
from
single
not
week.
from every single
Right,
store.
right.
Just from one store, yeah.
Just
That's
from
the thing,
H&M.
and-
That's
Right.
the problem. Is there the versatility may not be there.
Right.
And
So-
Nikki has had a
which
sale
makes
in
sense.
every
Right.
single store,
Which
so
makes
that
sense.
Right.
makes her at least kind of across the board, like
Yeah.
able to design for each store.
I'm actually surprised though to see at this stage in the game just the switching up. So I'm doing women's wear and now I'm going to throw in some menswear.
Yeah.
I feel like is that a mistake? Are they veering off course?
Well, not
You know?
for this week, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This
Right.
week was all about that. Before, I mean,
True,
we
but
saw
she
who got
could've-
kicked off last week.
I know, but she could have stepped up her game and still kept it in
definitely.
women's wear. So I don't know if that's the right choice.
Maybe
at this
that's the one that
point.
made her stomach want to.
You know?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I feel like they're all just jumping ship to the other
Yeah.
side, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to try this now, and I'm going to try that now." It's
Was
like,
it
why?
Zamiro
Doesn't
that
it seem like it's
tried
always-
and Nicole was like, that's not out of the box. That's
Well,
just going crazy.
Yeah, last week he did women's wear and he'd been doing
Yeah.
men's wear the whole time. So it's just strange.
But then he did women's wear again today
Yeah.
with that wrap dress that was sheer, and it still got a buy, but
got
it
a
wasn't
buy,
that
but
impressive.
it's still like, who are you?
Before we talk about Nismiro, but I mean that's the thing. Talking about the topic of the show, you
Right.
know, it seems atypical for you as a designer when they say, "Okay, do something out of the box," and you're doing men's. It's like, "Okay, I'm going to do women's." Instead of thinking, "Well, okay, I'm doing women's. What is it within the women's market that I'm not doing that scares me?"
I think they're
Well,
playing it safe in a
They
way.
are. And
Well, this was that show to get them over the hump.
Well, I think that
Well, what I think is that maybe the whole concept of the show we haven't even figured out yet.
Yeah.
So when I first thought about Fashion Star, I just completely thought Project Runaway. But now it's starting to be like, okay, so they need to be able to design for everybody. They need to be able to do menswear and women's wear. So maybe they just haven't even really told us what they're looking
Well,
for.
what they have said is that the premise of the show is they are looking for the next big brand. That's what they're looking for. And
True.
when you think of a brand, you're thinking of someone who does it all.
Right.
True. At the same time, I feel like there's only a handful of designers at this point in this competition where I have a clear vision of what their brand is.
Sure.
And I don't think
That's what
that
makes it so
branding.
good now.
I don't think
Yeah.
branding anymore necessarily is men's or women's. It's
Mm.
almost like
I would
there's
agree.
an identity behind it that I think they're missing. The designers are missing. Okay, what's my identity? And as much as I don't like where Orly is headed, she at least has an identity.
I agree with you.
And that's why I like her.
it's also something where it feels like, I know we talked about it on Project Runway a bunch, that you have this identity. All we wanted through the designers was to have this identity. And you kind of see that with Orly, but some of the other designers were still really trying to figure it out. And I think having your stuff in 3 stores especially, you need to be able to recognize who the audience is for each of those stores, and then...
Well, that's why I was mentioning it with, with our callers today in the Fashion Stars, is that you might have a vision for where you want your brand to be. However, the market's really going to dictate where
That's exactly
where
right.
it belongs.
The market is going to dictate.
And I mean, you as a buyer,
Yeah,
you
it
know
is.
this.
Yeah.
You saw how many clothing lines,
Yeah,
and you might want to be in Saks,
right.
but we're really feeling you in Macy's.
Exactly, and you also have to know, like, you have to go into a store and understand what are the other vendors, what are the other brands on the floor, and where do I fit,
Not only that, but knowing who you are as a designer, this might be the first time that they're actually designing for themselves. A lot of people work for other designers, so they have to
Right.
mesh their designs into them.
very good
Like
point.
when I was in school, at fashion school, we had they gave us this is what you have to do, so we would do it. And then when they would say, okay, you can do anything, then I was like, oh my God, I can do anything. And then you have so many ideas, you don't even know where to
Kinda like
narrow
our
in.
lunch.
That's my
Good
biggest
point.
issue still with Fashion Star is the consistency issue. It's like they throw like one challenge this way and somebody else gets to do another thing. There's just at least in Project Runway, everybody has like the same
clear.
end goal
I agree.
and you know what to expect. It's almost like I'm like, I don't even know if I like that or not because I don't really know what I'm supposed to be liking right now. Like
Right.
I get really confused at what the purpose is for these things walking down the runway and why they're really there and how are they supposed to be like a couture designer and designing something special and unique and
There's
wonderful
nothing couture in this.
No.
show,
no,
and
not at all. But
the
that's what I
thing.
was expecting
It's
was
just
like
it's about
designing.
reaching the everyday person.
I know,
Right.
but
And-
it's so
but-
confusing.
And that goes back again to the fact that we haven't really gotten to know each individual as themselves and where they're coming from.
But then they say that they're not unique enough. It's weird. It's like if they're too unique, then
fashion.
then that's not commercial enough.
That's
But if
fashion.
it looks like what everybody else is doing, then they're like, oh, well, that's not unique enough. It's just like, what do you want?
I think in terms of watching the show, it would be super helpful if you had, I know this week we thought it would be swimwear. So if you had everyone doing something, at least in a related, this week is women's dresses, make something for, you know what I mean? And
it was a little willy-nilly. We kind of got thrown off the track. They said it. They said swimwear, and then
That's what we all
this
thought.
was out of the box. I went with it. I like it. Again,
No,
I'm coming at this from the perspective of, okay, they're just challenging each person as a designer to how far can they go? What is their range? And even though you're women's and you designed men's as you're out of the box, that doesn't mean that when you go into Macy's, you're going to design men's as well. They just want to know that you could go.
Oh, and
that
I
far.
like the idea of the challenge. I just think it would have been interesting to be okay, so everyone think of an out of the box dress, because I feel like that's easier as a person watching the show to judge,
To compare.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes when you have a swimsuit and then you're and a jacket, you're well, I like both of those items, but I don't
But
really.
who's better?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, wrapping up, actually, group 3, we have Barbara. She went from the
Barbara.
boho dress to the no-go dress. I'm sorry.
I don't like your girlfriend, girl.
We're
Well, I made the comment
Unanimously
before
saying.
that Coco Chanel had a famous comment: when you get dressed, before you leave, you take one thing
Yep.
off. And Barbara missed the boat on that.
Well, not only that,
It's too
but
much.
Barbara, how did she get on the show when
I
she
don't
doesn't
know.
know what boho is? It's like
Yeah.
every designer should know what boho
Yeah.
is. And then if you don't know, why would you go design boho?
Yeah.
Like
And saying,
what did
oh
they
yeah,
say?
I didn't know I knew what that was.
and
the
Nicole
answer
Richie,
was under your nose.
Yeah, it was right next to her.
She's
Nicole
right
Richie is
there.
the epitome of boho, and she's
Again, hey,
Oh.
she
She's
came
a little
in.
spacey.
Is it a goofy question for the commoner over here to ask what boho exactly means?
Bohemian.
Bohemian.
Got it.
Bohemian,
Okay, so it's
yeah.
just a
Like
cool way
hippie
of
chic.
You know
saying-
what? We'll
Yeah.
just say
Yeah.
if you're watching the show, Nicole Richie.
All
Yes,
right.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I just
and
didn't
she
know,
does
guys.
it. Nicole, you do it well.
I feel like Barbara was just totally in her own world.
The whole
just not on
competition.
reality, not on the right level. Who just says, "Oh yeah, I survived breast cancer. You should
Yeah,
buy
I
my
got to
clothes."
admit
I
that
have
was
a
a little
club
That
tacky.
was a low blow. I'm
no.
sorry.
Oscar did it before, though.
Nothing against. I mean,
But I didn't respect Oscar.
No.
I sympathize with what she went through.
Absolutely, but
it was
why would you
inappropriate
use
to
that?
bring
Nothing
something
to do
like
with the
that up.
competition.
No.
Period.
And it was very unprofessional in my opinion, and I
Agreed.
just,
I didn't like
I
it.
didn't like
Yeah.
that at all.
Yeah.
I was
Grasp
not okay
against
with that.
straws.
Well, that's group 3. Moving up to group 2, we had Sarah and Ismiro. No offer for Sarah. She came out with, oddly enough, the bikini.
The bikini.
Now, she's
Yeah.
had 5 buys from H&M, which is amazing. She has been dubbed the H&M girl. And I do remember in the last episode that she was, I believe she made a statement saying she'd like to be in Saks.
Yes,
But again,
she
this is
did.
where that whole, obviously the market's dictating otherwise. Now,
Right.
she did the bikini color issues.
Yep.
And
Definitely
women,
some color issues.
tell me
not
what you,
unique
tell,
enough.
tell the viewers what you think. I mean,
It's just I wasn't wowed by it. I didn't think it was anything special. I agree. Like this spring season, there's so much color. There's
yeah.
bright yellows and neons and pinks and greens. We didn't see any of that.
did you like the style
I
of it?
liked. Okay, I'm a little wishy-washy. I liked the bottoms. I know you guys didn't like the bottoms. I loved the cutout, but that's just me.
I didn't
The
mind that.
top, I felt like it had zero support. I don't know how anybody would wear that top because there was just there was nothing going on
Well,
up there.
You know.
I'm thinking of an
Sorry,
ad
issue.
right now where you see the female and her chest is kind of blocked out and it says, "So well built, we can't show you this top floor."
But you know what though? I think if she changed her color choices, I think she would have had a buy. I
Yeah.
really do.
I could
really
see
do.
that, but I don't know.
That's what they mentioned,
The
yeah.
cutout, I mean, as
I didn't
women,
mind that.
you know, I just didn't feel like the cutout would be
Peekaboo.
very
Hello.
easily manageable.
Imagination.
Oh, for like, you know, holding the girls up?
No,
or
the
what?
bottoms.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
Does that mean, do you feel me?
Yeah,
I know you women back home feel me that you don't really want that part
Virginia
like
and I
just
are
hanging
definitely
out.
on the same
Yeah, I
page.
You
like
We're-
the
gotta
cutout.
be prepared to wear that thing.
Basically,
I-
you
it
know
wasn't
what?
that deep of a cut, okay?
Yeah, it wasn't that deep.
It
I
was
mean, I've had
kinda.
Just saying.
Nobody wants a lady town to fall out anywhere. So,
Exactly.
Wow.
She gets what I'm saying.
Taking that.
You know what I'm
To-
saying.
So, okay, so
I have
color
a lady
issues.
who can fix that
She-
problem.
There you go. See Virginia after the show. Give her your digits. She'll hook you up. Okay.
Yeah, she's in Hollywood. She can just get that right off.
Talking about getting out of the comfort zone. So here is.
Changing the subject.
Now it's really hot.
It's getting hotter.
Yeah, it just got twice as hot. I mean, it went from 80 to about 110 in here.
Okay,
Nismiro.
let's wrap this guy
Men's
up.
designer. He did go to the other
understand.
side. He went
don't
to the
get it.
women's
You
side.
got to buy. From
He got a
H&M.
buy from
I
H&M.
don't get it. It looked like an
$50,000.
Easter church dress.
I agree with
for
you.
kind of like your grandma.
However,
But he appealed to. I don't know if in his thinking he was thinking, okay, I'm going to appeal to, you know, H&M or whatever. If he had a certain focus, but he got a buy from it. So
I just don't think though the dress, like we all sat there and said the same thing. We're just
Yeah.
like matronly. It doesn't
there's
work.
nothing special about it. I
I liked I believe it was the taupe piece that he did,
I liked the
nobody
lavender.
should ever wear taupe.
which is the
Women
first one.
never
It just
wear taupe.
it just looked, I thought it no, but I thought it looked good on that specific model,
very
and it
Easter
showed
eggish.
it showed well on
it's
her.
just it's
I-
the same issue with the bathing suit. Like spring, the trends are colors, and so to
Yeah.
be bought in these stores that are huge retailing stores, you have to be on trend, unique but
Yeah.
on trend.
And we've
Right.
talked about that.
This like muted
timing,
thing
yeah.
was last year. Last summer was neutrals. Okay,
Well,
we're
this-
out of neutrals.
No, actually, we're still in neutrals. It's just for the women there is more
There's just a lot
color.
more color.
There
Yeah,
is,
and
absolutely.
And color is a lot more memorable, but
It
I will
is.
agree. Like there's a lacy neutral kind of statement going on,
But
like
that's
a
not-
capsule. But the color is a lot more
What it
prominent
is
for right now.
neutral
The
is
style
safe.
didn't get
Correct.
that. Yeah.
Neutral is
Correct.
safe.
Yeah.
If you would have popped that with color,
Right.
like what our
I'd
fair
be wearing that.
Virginia's wearing, I mean,
Uh-huh.
that turquoise, the blue.
Robbie
Giving
just
shouts
loves
out where,
those
where
sound
it's
effects.
due,
He
you
just
know?
loves them.
He was
So-
on trend with the sheerness though. Like everything is sheer
Absolutely.
right now. I don't think I've bought anything recently that hasn't
not
been
sheer,
sheer.
yeah.
So that was on trend, and you're right. If it would have been a nice color, I might be
Mm-hmm.
running to the store.
Agreed.
There you go.
Okay.
So-
I was offended though. He said your bodies are weird, women. What was that about?
Yeah.
He
I
said
missed
that.
that.
He said that he didn't know
said
how.
that?
Zamiro.
Really?
Yeah.
As many women that love him and have a crush on him out there that watch the show, I was offended by that comment. He's like, y'all's bodies are weird. Like,
I
I don't know
didn't
how
hear
to.
Who is the mirror? Better watch out for
I
you.
know.
I'm giving props to Nismiro. I
better
mean, he's the
watch
only
out.
men's designer on there. So, dude, I'm praying for you. That being said,
real quick, I wanted to take the minute here to
Sure.
say thank you to one of our AfterBuzzers, Jenna Time. She's doing the AfterBuzz chat roll with all the chatters and showing,
Nice.
pushing the show a little further. Obviously, she's an AfterBuzzer. She did the Bachelor show with Canden, so We like that about our social media strategist, Jenna Time over there.
We love you, Jenna.
Calling her
Shout
out,
out to Jenna.
She is a social media guru. She's teaching me how to tweet. I still don't know.
Well, we just got a couple things to wrap up. Before we go into commercial, let's quickly talk about Orly and Cara as our last group.
Okay.
We've loved these girls.
Yep.
Orly, she definitely did not take on the competition this week. She stayed safe, again, yes, it's true to who she is, but they were looking for range.
Yeah.
Orly didn't bring it.
Too many 2-4s. That's what Jessica said.
Just for this. Actually, Sax mentioned
I
that.
think she should have tailored it more and just left it as that nice tailed jacket.
Not to take anything away. I liked it.
Yeah.
Earlier on in the competition,
Right.
I believe the buyers would have been all over
Well,
it.
because earlier on it was different and it was
Exactly.
new, but now we've seen it how many times? We've seen her do this convertible outfit, so she needs to step it up and do something different.
I like the military Baroque.
No,
you know.
I like her ideas all the time. I just think that there's got to be another way to do it but this like convertible thing. Like a lot of her,
it's a little gimmicky.
A little gimmicky, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's just one of those things where you just want to see something that's
Exact comments tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a nice fitted, awesome jacket that you can go and pick up, hopefully at H&M.
And hence, no offer.
No offers.
Cara, man, has she been growing on us. This
I
girl
love her.
is really
amazing.
You know, I mean,
I
we've
love
got.
her.
Well, we'll
Cara,
talk about
call
that in
into the
elimination. Cara, I mean, going
I'll find you on
from
Twitter.
a ballsy move in the first episode with just an accessory-based line to now stepping up a bit. Now, I got to admit, wasn't a fan at all of the
that
and
print.
I called it. I'm sorry, the Fred Flintstone look last
yeah.
week didn't do it for me.
I
the
did
green
not like
tie.
the print, yeah. But
This
she
week,
stepped out of her comfort zone. She stepped
I
it up
liked
for
it.
her.
I liked it. I called Sax, and she got it. That was Sax.
It was
all the
definitely
way.
Sax. I'm not so keen on the patterned dress. Not that
That's
not
trending.
that I know patterns are
dresses,
trending,
yeah.
but that
Doesn't mean you have to
pattern
do it, but
was
it worked.
very. It was very old. It
There was
made me
a
look
there was a
old.
sheen though. There was a metallic to it.
Do you know what I mean?
It was like a charmeuse or something. But yeah, I didn't like the print. The print was a little moderate looking, but I think for her to do a soft layered dress,
Yeah,
and she's
the other
done
two
very
were gorgeous.
hard
That was out
looks,
of her-
She really stepped it up for
She
herself,
did.
and she's used to
She
doing
did great.
black,
Yeah.
and so
And
yeah.
Saks is showing their confidence in her for sure. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 out of the gate. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen that, I feel like, on the show before.
So congratulations to
Congratulations.
Cara. With that in mind, we're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, it's elimination time.
Dun dun.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
I want to buzz about this.
Yeah. Speaking of buzzing, I am dripping right now. I mean, it is getting hot up in here.
That's how excited we are.
I just might have to start.
We just love Fashion Star so much.
Yes, making us hot.
Sweating.
So, elimination.
I bet these guys that were on the chopping block were sweating beads.
Yes.
We're talking elimination. We got
The final
Nikki,
four.
Barbara, Sarah, and Orly.
Surprise.
No surprise
No,
that
I was surprised to see them.
Barbara's gone. I'm just going to say it. Barbara's
sorry.
gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Fired. She's
Bye-bye.
fired. Yes.
Oh, no, really. I mean, given the
sorry.
competition level
No,
right now,
it's just she was ready.
it was
It's just-
appropriate.
It was very
It should have been last
appropriate.
week. It was this week. They gave her a grace. So,
yeah.
I don't think Barbara had the taste level that she needed
Yeah.
to take her through this challenge.
No.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely not.
competition.
Agreed.
I really don't.
Nikki saved, and we spoke about it before.
Yep.
Why Nikki,
Yes.
not Sarah?
Yep.
Because Nikki's had all the buyers.
She's
pitch in.
she's very versatile. I mean, not that I liked what she did this week, but we've seen a lot coming from her as a swimwear designer. To now really seeing her kind of. She has been out of the box.
It was funny on the drama side. I picked her as the villain.
Did you really?
Based on that first episode, I mean, she was like, with the pattern maker stuff. Not this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
She crumples up stuff, and it's
love
like,
her accent.
was that your pattern?
Nikki, you know what?
Nah, but she's growing on me.
She has a great eye for
She
prints.
does.
I think she's got a great taste level, and her eye for prints is fantastic.
Swimwear. She
She's
gets it from
always doing
swimwear.
fantastic prints. And I think it takes a really good taste level to pick a
Absolutely.
good print versus a moderate print.
Oh, yeah.
Big
Well,
deal.
quickly, I mean, predictions are going to be real quick. We're just going to kind of go around the room and say who is getting knocked off next week.
I know who I want to get knocked off.
Yeah.
You're AfterBuzz.
Oh, all right. We all have our predictions.
Diona.
Okay, my vote for next week. Like I said it before. I'm not riding that Ross train. So he's stubborn. He doesn't really take criticism well. I think it's time for Ross to go.
I absolutely agree with you. Just because he does this one thing that I might go by, I still don't think he's going to be producing in the end, especially when they have such good people that are really starting to improve, like Luciana and Ronnie. Like
they got
the
their time
momentum
this week,
Yep,
Right.
and it showed. Stephanie.
I think Ross is the one to go. I think
Okay.
the biggest mistake that he's made
for Ross.
is not, listening to the mentors on the show.
Be humble when you're in an environment like it. I've said it through this
Absolutely.
whole show. I would be a sponge. I have been a sponge. We've all been a sponge.
I agree. I mean, I think that he has a lot of talent, but I think he's still a boy. And you're seeing that come out. I mean, I was very offended the first few episodes when he was kind of just stubborn and rude. I mean, he wasn't as rude as that first guy who I was just ready to
we
like
won't even
beat in
talk.
the head.
I'm ready to.
But
I'm still.
But I
got
just
energy
I
around
want to
that.
like Ross so bad because I do love the preppy tailored look, but I just can't stand the attitude. I mean, it's between him and Nikki for me because I just don't know that I mean, I think Nikki's great. She's very versatile, but I'm not wowed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Virginia.
I have a question.
It's your turn.
I have a question.
You already said.
I have a question real quick before Virginia goes. Out of all the contestants, you made a point real quick about somebody being humble and how important that is. I was wondering, out of all the contestants, who carries themselves as a designer in the most professional manner? Because I always feel like that will go.
Cara.
And just go around the table and all of you kind of weigh in on it because professionalism will take you a long way, in my opinion.
I almost feel like we could say it at the same time.
Cara.
Cara, she seems like
She's so humble.
She seems like a
and
seasoned
grateful.
pro.
Yeah.
And the fact that she used to be a teacher, so this is a new industry for her. She's just carrying it so well. She
But
gets it.
not far behind, I would say, is Sarah.
Sarah's
Not
had her
too far
breakdowns,
behind.
though.
Ronnie. He's showing to be very humble. I mean, he's been great.
Well, we haven't seen much of it.
but
That's
we
the
haven't
problem.
seen much.
Right.
But right off the top,
Right.
And I
just
think
for who we
Laurelie
know the
deserves
most.
some points in that area too. She doesn't seem too like out there and crazy about her
She's
success.
young.
We were
She's
just
young,
going from
but-
the top, like who we've gotten to, who we feel that we've
Right.
gotten to know the most.
Right.
I see Cara's soul just come out
Cara's-
when she's
Yeah,
when
Cara's
she's
the
on that
best.
stage. I mean, you just see the
We've
humbleness
seen
and
the emotional
gratefulness.
side.
You see
Yeah.
her passion.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I was a little bit like, right at first because I didn't understand her at all, and now I'm just like enthralled. I want her to succeed, and I think
her.
she's great.
I
You
love
guys
her
make me
personal
feel
style.
so heartless because I am still not on that
Really?
bandwagon you guys
Oh,
are
I
on.
love
That's
her.
all
I
right.
don't know why. I'm still stuck on the ties.
I
Like
just-
that's what you start with. I don't know. I have yet to get over
Move
it.
on. Get the energy
I
out.
love
Get the
her
energy out.
personal
Get the energy out.
style.
No, I gotta admit. I mean, like I said, I didn't like her designs last week.
Yeah, I don't know.
This was just from a.
So
personal
who's your most
standpoint.
professional, humble one?
you know,
humble one.
That's just such a tough choice because I don't feel like we've had enough. I don't feel like we've gotten to know everybody enough yet.
Well, then
And-
just say Ronnie or Luciana since they called in tonight and we love them.
And
yeah.
go.
Oh, I do love Ronnie. I don't
There
know
you
what
go.
it is.
Props to Ronnie. Well, like we said, great show. The energy was up. Luciana, Ronnie, thank you so much for calling in. You guys were the stars tonight. With that being said, we look forward to next week.
Yep.
All you other fashion stars out there, you better call us.
Nizmiro, I want you to call in. You're
And
my
Cara.
boy.
Cara.
Men's fashion.
Chris,
Cara.
You might as well, to keep the conversation going, you might as well give out all of your Twitters.
Absolutely.
That way.
I'm Christopher Jozeph. You can follow me on Twitter at Vocari Fashion. Diona?
I am Diona Vaughan, and you can follow me at GoToGirlTV.
Go to.
I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can follow me at Stephanie Wenger.
I am Canden Bliss. You can follow me at Canden Bliss.
That was blissful.
And I am Virginia Reyna, and you can follow me at Virginia Reyna.
She will tweet you back.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you so much, viewers. It's been a slice.
Good night.
We will see you next week.
Guys, see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
And I'm
Views
sweating.
expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.